Happening now, a positive update on Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin's condition as the team says he's rounding a corner. And the just re-elected Chautauqua County Legislature chairman outlining his top priorities for 2023. Plus, 2 local museums have improved access for low-income families.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin is awake and has been holding hands with his family in the hospital following the 24-year-old in-game cardiac arrest on Monday. We have team coverage today as our community is reacting to this good news and also taking some concern in the hit that could be blamed for all of this. But first, his agent, Rob Butler, along with the Buffalo Bills team, now saying he's showing remarkable improvement. Medical experts are still working to determine exactly what caused his medical emergency on Monday. One prevailing theory here is it seems to be his heart stopped beating properly due to something called comatosis, and congenital heart conditions before doing so. The NFL's top physicians says that while it's still too early to know for sure, it's all a possibility.
It happens a lot more in sports like baseball, hockey, or lacrosse, where you've got a high-speed projectile that comes and hits an unprotected chest. So I don't think at this point we can rule that out because it has been described in football players. But again, the focus right now is on treating Damar and helping him get better. And
now, the NFL will conduct a detailed review anytime a player is evacuated from the field. Here in Hamlin's case, a diagnosis of comatosis cordis may be given if doctors can't find another cause. Well, after Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field this week, some local parents are having concerns for the safety of their kids in the sport. Our Alyssa Wright joins us live in studio with more now on the conversations taking place between local coaches, players, and their families. Alyssa?
Justin, Jamestown High School's head football coach, Thomas Langworthy, tells me he understands the anxiety and is working to alleviate fears following Hamlin's medical emergency.
I think as a parent, I'm a parent to 2 young boys that play football, and a coach, well, it does make you think and evaluate your processes and procedures, not only on the field, but with how you would react to that same situation.
It's not just Coach Langworthy who is looking to improve safety measures.
In recent years, there has been a lot of different measures that coaches have taken and different strategies, techniques, and drills that coaches have used to make football a safer game. Our practices during the week are very low contact, and we have found ways to practice tackling, practice blocking, where we're not doing it with another person and we're not taking people to the ground, and there's minimal contact at all and no contact. We try to have no contact at all with our head.
The padding and protective gear players must wear have drastically improved over the last decade.
And just the helmet alone is a whole conversation, because the technology with the helmets and the way that these helmets fit and the way that you put them on and fasten them is incredibly different than even they were 10 years ago. I think this instance here, if you're speaking of the Damar Hamlin instance, is extremely rare from the research that I've heard and some of the interviews that I've heard. Is I think this says it only happens about 30 times a year in the United States.
In the end, the coach assures parents that there is really no reason to worry about the safety of the game, at least in Jamestown, as all staff on the field put safety first. Continuing our team coverage now is Bronson Rasmussen, who is live in the newsroom with more on how the Jamestown community is working to rally around Damar. Bronson?
Alyssa, inspired by other Bills Mafia vigils, local leaders, pastors, and fans are holding a prayer service for Buffalo Bill Damar Hamlin as he continues to receive treatment following a cardiac episode. The service is coordinated by Matthew Simcoe as a way for locals to support a life that is on the line.
I talked to a good friend of mine, Billy Torres, and he and I were talking about things and maybe something we could do to help with the community to get a prayer circle maybe around for Damar Hamlin and his family and the Buffalo Bills fans. And the funny thing is too, is Billy's a Steelers fan, and I just think it doesn't matter in this story of what kind of fan you are. I think it just touches everybody because it's a human life. So
Pastor Dan Groh will head up the prayer circle, which is expected to see quite the outcome.
I think everybody's all in for one cause. You know, right now they're donating the money and stuff. That's the only way they think that they can really help, you know, which is a great thing. So, you know, everybody's supportive. Anything that's Bills Mafia or Buffalo Bills, they're going to show up for. So hope to see you.
Simcoe has seen tremendous support for Hamlin on every platform available. He even noticed Hamlin's story on World News.
Yeah, it's just been all over the place. Twitter has been, Facebook, everybody. It's like you scroll down your page and everything is all about praying for him and hoping he gets better.
The vigil is planned for this Saturday, January 7th at 5 p.m. at Jamestown City Hall. Reporting live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much. Some other news that we're following today. A 42-year-old was arrested following a 3-month-long investigation into narcotic sales in the city of Dunkirk. On Wednesday, Dunkirk police and the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant at 29 Lemming Street. As a result of the search, investigators allegedly recovered 8.3 grams of fentanyl, 4 Suboxone strips, scales, and packaging material for narcotic sales, as well as $279 in cash. Rodney Clyburn was arrested and now faces several counts of criminal possession of a controlled substance as a result. Well, the National Comedy Center here in Jamestown is partnering with a program to improve access for low-income families. Both the National Comedy Center and the Lucy Desi Museum are joining forces in a program administered by the Association of the Children's Museum. Anyone receiving food stamp benefits can visit the Comedy Center or the Lucy Desi Museum for a minimum fee of just $2, as long as they present their benefit certification at the door. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Forecaster Dakota Hunter here with us today, and a live look over the Mill Creek Mall. Really, it's such a contrast from yesterday, Dakota. Weather-wise, it's pretty nice out there for what, January 5th?
Yes, I mean, you know, this weather has just been playing all kinds of tricks on us, but it's a nice day out there. At least the fog is not an issue for today like it was yesterday. Mill Creek Mall sky cam, courtesy of our friends at WNY News Now, showing you, yeah, those clouds are really going to be pretty much the story throughout much of today. The high-res satellite imagery showing you those clouds streaming on in across the region. So we'll call today overcast, but there will be a few limited breaks in the cloud cover. But notice I stress the word limited. Mostly clouds will rule the sky for today. 55 was the high yesterday, started the day at 34, and now 59 and 31 below are the records. Woo! Cold. So clouds, and more clouds for your Thursday today. Much cooler, 39 to 43 with a southwest wind, but we do have some snow on the way. How much are we going to pick? Plus, the Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-Day will be coming up in just a few minutes. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a little bit. As we continue here, we're hearing from Chautauqua County's top legislator, who's discussing the challenges for the new year ahead. And later, New York becoming the 6th state to legalize human composting as an alternative to traditional burial methods. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWias Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWias Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWias Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Among the top challenges this new year for Chautauqua County will likely be inflation. That's according to the County Legislative Chairman Pierre Chagnon, who outlined his top priorities this week after being elected to the head of the lawmaking body. The District 8 Republican has served as chairman since 2019. Among Chagnon's top priorities for 2023 is working to anticipate rising costs within this year's budget and to adjust as needed. Furthermore, responding to the opioid crisis, managing workforce retention, and the state's energy policies are other challenges that he says stick out.
The federal funds are always subject to change since the federal budget changes in the middle of our fiscal year. So there are always challenges out there. The one that we're sure is going to be impactful, I'm sure is going to be impactful, is inflation.
Changes within county government this year include a new county attorney and the reorganization of the human services programs. Well, New York's representatives in Washington, D.C. are working to make sure Western New York gets its fair share of storm relief funding following the deadly Christmas blizzard in Buffalo. U.S. Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand spoke about storm-related costs, which are crippling local governments, during a stop in Buffalo on Wednesday. The blizzard, which brought hurricane-like conditions, qualifies for federal assistance after $36.5 million in damage and costs are submitted to Washington.
You have to submit very detailed analysis, and sometimes the bureaucrats take too long. So one of our purposes here, we got the emergency declaration quickly. Once the governor has to submit this because it's statewide. Localities submit as well. And once we get that, we want the feds to get the money here ASAP.
Now, the White House has already approved the initial $5 million emergency declaration request from Governor Kathy Hochul. Well, on Wednesday, New York Legislative's session officially began and lawmakers voted on leadership. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein is breaking down the first day of the session and gives us an update on the votes.
As New York State lawmakers gathered for the first day of session, they voted in Andrea Stewart Cousins as the Senate Majority Leader, making her the longest-serving Democratic majority in the state.
And she really is a wise and consensus-building leader. So I'm thrilled she's back as Majority Leader and look forward to getting to work.
Lawmakers also voted for Robert Ort as the Senate Minority Leader and Carl Heastie as the Assembly Speaker, all of whom are serving another term. O'Mara was voted to chair the Finance and Investigations Committees.
And I look forward to continuing those roles and working to fight for New Yorkers across New York, but particularly upstate New York, where we're often forgotten from the downstate interests here in Albany.
During session today, lawmakers also discussed some of the issues they plan to tackle, and some say affordability is the biggest priority.
We need to take real action this year for New Yorkers to work on the affordability so that we can provide the opportunities for New Yorkers and stem the exodus of New Yorkers to other states.
O'Mara says to tackle this issue, they need to look at further reducing taxes for the middle class, alleviating unfunded mandates for local governments, and reducing, quote, red tape or regulations for businesses. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Well, good news for people not interested in a traditional burial. A new law is legalizing human compost. It's been passed here in the Empire State. Last Saturday, Governor Hochul signed the new legislation into law that permits human composting as a legal method of burial to lay someone to rest. The bill is part of measures New York State is putting in place to eliminate carbon emissions by 2050. Funeral home directors are excited families will have another option of burial to choose from.
Some people still like traditional earth burial with a casket. Some people like cremation, but there's folks who don't like either one. They don't like the idea of a casket being in the ground. They don't like the idea of their remains being consumed by flame. So this is, from what they're saying, sounds like the most economical friendly way of disposition that's out there at this point.
New York became the 6th state to legalize human composting, as Washington State became the first to do it back in 2019. They were followed by Colorado and Oregon in 2021, and later Vermont and California in 2022. Well, coming up, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay right there. WNY News Now, back after this.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights, vests,
please give us some room.
slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Hello there, you caught me fixing my tie. All right, let's take a look at the water level on the Chattacoin, because obviously with some of that rain that we had, some of you might have some concerns about flooding. Well, the good news is, yeah, we're not anywhere near flood stage. 2.24 feet is the current water level on the Chattacoin River. Of course, that water gauge is underneath the Dow Street Bridge in Falconer, near the Dow Street intertie for the BPU. Ski and snowboarding conditions still looking good. Peak and Peak is still closed through the weekend, but Holiday Valley, Hollymont, and Mount Pleasant are looking good. This is going to be a place to be over the weekend as we get some snow coming our way by the end of the week. Right now, the HD News Now cam showing you a good supply of sunshine. Just a few clouds dotting the sky. 39 as a noon hour. A south wind of 14, a little bit breezy, so the wind chill down to 31. But all in all, not a bad day for early January. Remember, we're past our forecast. We're past our average high, which is 34. So take that into consideration. So we have a cold front that has swept on through. This is the next system that's going to be arriving, and this is ultimately going to trigger a few snow showers over the next couple of days. Let's show it to you on the newest run of Future Scan. This is the hour-by-hour forecast. Notice by the time we go into tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with a few scattered snow showers through the afternoon hours. But again, the overall accumulations will be on the lighter side. We could be looking at about an inch, maybe on the highest hills. But we're going to add a little bit more as we go into Friday night and then into Saturday. I think we may pick up a few more light snow showers. So accumulations, like I said, are going to be on the lighter side. We're going to be looking at about an inch to a inch and a half, maybe upwards of 2 inches on some of the higher elevations. So again, that'll bring some well-needed snow back, especially for some of the snowpacks that have lost it. So the day planner for tomorrow will top out, right around the lower 30s. Temperatures not really going very much for tomorrow at all. Now, in high definition, the next 7 days of your life right here on the screen. 34 on Friday, and the weekend looking seasonable though. 32 Saturday, 37 on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, temperatures kind of hanging out in the upper 30s, but at least we will be dry. Justin?
Yeah, certainly we know that winter is coming back eventually. Dakota, thank you. Let's get some headlines from around the nation. And President Biden saying he plans to give a border security speech today and visit the U.S.-Mexico border next week. The border visit will come during his trip to the North America Leadership Summit in Mexico City. It will mark Biden's first visit to the border since he took office. This comes as officials continue to grapple with what they consider a migrant crisis and immigration system officials across the system saying it's broken. The White House has revisited calls by Republicans for Biden to visit the southern border for 2 years, dismissing the idea as political theater. Well, the U.S. House of Representatives is still deadlocked on electing a new Speaker of the House. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp has the latest for us.
The second day of voting for a new Speaker of the House was off to another shaky start. After California's Kevin McCarthy lost 3 votes in a row yesterday, a handful of members in his own party continued to block his bid by voting for other Republicans.
A Speaker has not been elected.
Throughout the voting process, Democrats have been united behind New York's Hakeem Jeffries.
The contrast between House Democrats on the chaos and confusion taking place on the other side of the aisle could not be more clear.
It's not the first time a new Speaker of the House wasn't elected on the first round of voting, but it's been 100 years since the last time it's happened.
Really surprised that McCarthy was really unsuccessful in his bid to get the hard right people who voted against him on board. He had a lot of time to do this, and it came down to a last-ditch effort where he was done with the carrots in terms of giving incentives and was turning into the stick, which trying to punish them and saying that they were not going to get committee assignments if they didn't play nicely with him and elect him Speaker.
Political scientists say the optics of this doesn't look good for Republicans.
And this is what people are seeing and getting their first impression of what a Republican House of Representatives is going to be like, and it doesn't look good.
Michigan's Upper Peninsula's Representative Jack Bergman doesn't see it like that.
Yesterday wasn't chaos. Yesterday was an example of what the founders envisioned as far as the messiness of democracy in progress with people who have different ideas about how things should be structured, and we haven't come to conclusion yet, but we will.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. The House can't move forward with things like voting on bills or even swearing in members until a speaker is elected. Well, the funeral of former Pope Benedict XVI is taking place today in Vatican City. Before the ceremony began, bells slowly tolled and 12 white-gloved pallbearers brought the cypress coffin into view of the crowd. Those in attendance then prayed to the rosary as Benedict's coffin left St. Peter's Basilica. The coffin was placed on the platform in front of the altar. Pope Francis presided over this mass. Thousands looked on as he eulogized his predecessor. Following the funeral, Benedict's coffin will be taken to the Basilica and the Vatican cypress for burial in the first tomb of John Paul II. Well, coming up next, we say farewell to a treasured member of our staff, Dakota Hunter, after this. There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Today's a bittersweet day for us here as we are saying farewell to our longtime weather forecaster, Dakota Hunter. Your last broadcast with us in person, in studio, as Dakota is moving on to a really great opportunity I'll let you tell our viewers about.
Yes, so starting this week, I will be on Erie News Now weekends. Of course, our news partner down there in Erie, Channel 12 and Channel 5 down there in Erie. And I've been down there for the past month doing training.
Yeah.
And so we're ready to get rocking and rolling. So my shift is officially the weekends. And so I hope to see you all there. Of course, you know, I have the Facebook like page, which you can like, which will obviously throwing out the graphics from Erie, but also you can keep up with me personally as well on that page. Also the Twitter at HuntersWX, HUNTERSWX on Twitter. And so I'll still be in the area.
Right.
I'll be in Erie. But I mean, you know, I just got to say, you know, you especially, I mean, you know, for those that don't know, Justin is also news director and operations manager. And Justin really took a chance on me when he hired me 5 years ago. And and I'll always be grateful for the opportunity you gave me. And I mean, you know, great things have happened. And, you know, this is just a prime example of what has happened, you know, this amazing opportunity. So,
and your careers have to start somewhere. And a lot of people, you know, they look at a market like Jamestown, New York. If you're talking technics in the business, you know, it's not rated. They're, you know, this is so unique what we're doing here, streaming on television online, and but what we do, I think, has a great impact. I just want to thank you, Dakota, for working so hard to build the weather department from ground up. You were the first when we brought you on in, I believe it was like 2017,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And we brought him on. You worked remotely from Buffalo, and you built everything, the techniques of it, to the designing of the broadcasts, to the graphics, and you made it what it is today. And I couldn't do it without you, and I'm so thankful for your hard work. And you're taking a chance on us too, right? And I think when you look at it, it pays off in the sense that, you know, you get to work, I think, with a great group of people.
Yep.
And Bronson, just off camera, come on over here. I know he's controlling the buttons for us, but and you get to grow, and that's the opportunity that I wanted to give. And there's a lot of people who wouldn't work as hard as you did. They'd think, okay, I'm just going to work until I get to mine. But you came in here every day and you gave it your all, which I think is so important.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I just also got to say a special thank you to the viewers out there who have trusted me for the past 5 years with your forecast. I mean, you know, I have tried my best to give you, you know, the most accurate, the most detailed forecast I can give you. And, you know, I think we've worked pretty hard on that. And, of course, the weather department is in good hands. Andrew here is taking over the chief role, which was announced a little while ago.
He's going to do a great job. And, Andrew, I want to give you a chance in our last 2 minutes here. Anything that you want to say to Dakota, or, you know, just, I know the two of you worked really well together, and he's almost like a mentor for you.
And when I came in, I think it was 2019, I came on as intern in the weather department, and I was just amazed about what Dakota had put together here. And over the past few years, he's taught me everything there is, and I feel like I have some big shoes to fill, but
you'll do fine.
Yeah, you
trust
will.
me.
You will. So with that, I just want to thank you again, Dakota, for all your hard work and
it's been my pleasure.
Time being with us. And this isn't necessarily a forever farewell. We might see Dakota here and there, depending. You know, we are partnered with Erie News Now, so you never know. But in the last, 60 seconds we have here, I think we should do one more forecast. But what do you guys think? Do you think we should see the next 7 days of our life?
All righty.
One more time?
Yes. So for the last time, the next 7 days of your life.
Wait, that's all I get is 7? It's over after this?
Where's the 90-day forecast?
Andrew can do 10.
Starting next week, we got that 90-day forecast.
You heard it first here, folks. 90-day forecast.
I'll let you know what's going to happen on the 1st or 4th of July.
Yes. I'm sure there's a lot of accuracy in that. 34 degrees for tomorrow. Snow showers through Saturday. We could pick up 1 inch to 2 inches, mainly on the highest hills. But temperatures moderate as we go throughout next week. We'll be hanging out in the upper 30s, and we will be dry, though, with some limited sunshine. sunshine.
All right.
So such as it is, my final 7-day forecast, such as it is.
Yes, and a good mix of weather too at that. Dakota, thank you very much for everything. That is it for our show today. News continues 24/7 at